All right, use the summation properties to evaluate the following series. We have here the sum of 3i squared minus 4i plus 7 as I goes from 1 to 5. All right, so let's go ahead and use our summation properties as well as the rules. So we have here, first of all, we're going to take the summation and we're going to distribute that. So here we go. The summation of 3i squared as I goes from 1 to 5 minus the summation of 4i as I goes from 1 to 5 plus the summation of the summation of 7 as I goes from 1 to 5. Okay, so we used which property? Initially, we used properties C and D initially. Now we're going to use property B, where we're going to factor out the constant term from the first two summations here. So we have here 3 times the sum of I squared as I goes from 1 to 5 minus 4 times the summation of I as I goes from 1 to 5. And then we keep our constant here, summation of 7 as I goes from 1 to 5. Okay, so next we're going to use our summation rules, where remember that the summation of I was n times n plus 1 over 2. And then now we're going to be using I squared, where I squared is n times n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 all over 6. Okay, so what we're going to plug in for the value of n is the 5. Okay, we're putting in the number, we're going to plug in the number of terms in the summation, which is n, which is the number 5. So this is how we would write out each term of that summation. We have 3 times. We have, since it says the summation of I squared as I goes from 1 to 5, we have here 5 times 5 plus 1 times 2 times 5 plus 1 all over 6 minus 4 times. Now let's look at the summation of I, which is n times n plus 1 over 2. So we're saying 5 times 5 plus 1 all over 2 plus, and then the last one here we're using property A, where we're going to multiply the constant of 7 to the number of terms in the summation, which is 5. So we have 5 times 7. So let's work the brackets. So here we have 3 times, okay, this will give us 5 times 6 times 11 all over 6 minus 4 times, we have 5 times 6 over 2 plus 35. We have 3 times. This would give us, what would that give us there? 5 times, well, if you notice here, the 6 is going to cancel out. We have 3 times 55 minus 4 times. Well, 2 goes into the 6 3 times, and 3 times 5 gives us 15. plus 35. And then 3 times 55 gives us 165 minus 4 times 15, that's 60, plus 35, and that equals to 140. There we go. So the summation, or the sum of 3i squared minus 4i plus 7 as I goes from 1 to 5 is equal to 140.